Hi, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Hanson here. I'm here to teach lesson 2 of our subtraction unit called Modeling Subtraction. The first thing we need to do is talk about our essential question. How do you subtract numbers? I want you to pause the video and talk in class or at home about what is it you do when you're actually subtracting numbers. My next slide, we found out in class yesterday that the problem of the day, even though this is a subtraction unit, isn't always a subtraction problem. So we need to look for certain words and try to figure out what it is that they want us to do. It says, Carlos checked out 2 books from the library. So I'm going to use my paper and my pen, and I'm going to draw Carlos's 2 books. Okay? Then it says, Lexi checks out 3 more books than Carlos. Now, we've talked about the differences between addition and subtraction. And I think, I recall, at least in my class, one of the things somebody told me is that if you're looking that you have more of something, we have to add. Because when we subtract, we're taking things away, so we end up with less. So Lexi has 3 more books than Carlos. So I'm going to draw Lexi's 3 books. So I've drawn a picture, and I have a number, sentence, or equation to match. And then the last question is, how many books does Lexi check out? So we know Carlos had 2. Lexi had 3 more, so we knew we had to add them. And if we count all those together, Lexi checked out 5 books. Good job, boys and girls. We had an addition equation in our subtraction unit again. I think they're trying to trick us. All right. It says use counters to model this subtraction story. Okay, we don't always have counters. Mrs. Hanson doesn't have any at home. So I'm going to stick with my drawing my pictures because that's working for me right now. So it says, PJ saw 6 lightning bugs in the sky. So I'm going to start by drawing my 6 lightning bugs. 3, 4, 5, 6. You notice I counted as I went along. There's my 6 lightning bugs. We've talked about this. It's not art time. You draw circles. Keep it simple, but nice and big and nice and clear. It says 2 of the lightning bugs flew away. How many lightning bugs are left? Now, so some of them flew away. So we know they're leaving, they're being taken away. And they asked us how many are left. And those are definitely key words for a subtraction problem. So we're going to take 2 away. They flew away. So we had our 6. 2 got taken away because they flew away. And if we look at our picture, and we look at how many are left, we count those carefully and find out that there are 4 lightning bugs left. We did all that without counters. Let's look at our next problem. 9 objects on the floor. Again, we don't have counters. So we're just going to use what we have, our paper and our pencil. I drew 9 things. There they are, and I wrote my 9. And it says remove some objects. They don't tell us how many. So you get to decide. Mrs. Hanson, I'm going to take away 8 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 9 minus 8 equals. You might decide only to take 2. Your answer could be different. If you look at my picture carefully, I have only 1 object left on the floor. All right, good job. We're going really quick here. Now, this one. Oh my goodness. There are 6 crabs crawling on the beach. This looks like it could be a tough one. Drew my 6. Some crabs go into the ocean. We don't know how many. We've talked about having to put a box or a missing add-in sometimes in an addition equation. Let's see if we can't use that same box. So we started with 6, and we know some of them are going to go away. So minus our mystery box, we don't know how many that is. And we know when we're done, it says there are 2 crabs on the beach. So it's going to equal 2. So we need to keep 2 of our crabs. We can't touch them. Mrs. Hanson's going to color them yellow like a caution. We can't touch those guys. We have to have those 2 left. But we're going to X out the rest because those are going to be how many go into the ocean. And if you look at when we're done, how many did we X out? It looks like we X'd out 4. So we have an equation of 6 take away 4 equals 2. Good job so far, boys and girls. Now you're going to see our part whole mats come back. We used these for addition last time with our red and yellow counters. But like I said, I'm at home. I don't have counters. Maybe you don't either. So maybe you need to use 2 different color crayons, like a red and a yellow crayon. All right. Mrs. Hanson's going to start with, they told me in my box that I have 10 in the hole. So So I'm drawing my box real simple. And I'm going to put 10 circles down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You notice I count really carefully and I draw them nice and big. Now they've told us they're taking 8 of them. 8 of them are getting moved up here. So we're going to X out 8 of them because they're going to become red. So I X'd out 8 and I moved those 8 up to the part box. Now we need to figure out how many end up being yellow. Well, 2 guys left. So those must be my 2 yellows. So I can fill in my line in the part whole box because I crossed out 8 and got told to move them up here and found out I had 2 left. So 8 plus 2 is 10. Or if we look at it the other way as a subtraction problem, we started with 10, we took away 8 of them, and we have 2 left. 10 take away 8 equals 2. We're going to look at a couple more of these part whole boxes. They've got one for us where they started us out with 9 in the whole box. and they gave us 9 tokens. Then they took away 2 yellow ones and moved them up here. And they put a 2 in the box. Then they counted all the ones that were red that were left. And if you count these guys in this part box carefully, you'll find out that there were 7. So they would go and fill in a 7 in our part whole box, because 9, taking 2 yellows away, leaves us 7 reds. We're going to do a couple of these together. So it says, you can use your workmate mat if you have one. If not, we do the pictures. They work for us. So I've got my part whole. And they're telling me I'm starting with 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's my box with my 5 tokens in it. Now, 4 of them are going to be red. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I move those guys up here to the part side. There we go. Now we're looking just like my picture. And now we need to figure out how many will be yellow. Well, I only have one guy who's not X'd out on here. So he's going to be my 1 yellow that goes on the other part box. So if we have 5 and we took away 4 and turned them red, we have 1 yellow left. All right, we've got another one telling us this time we're going to start with 8. So again, draw my box. This time I'm going to put 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Done that. This time, 6 of them are going to become yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And those were my yellows. So I X'd them out because I'm going to take them away, and they're going to become yellow. They're going to move up into the part box for yellow. And we're going to see how many we have left. So if you look carefully, you should see that 2 of them should become red and go on the other part side. 2. And that way we know our equation would be 8 minus or take away 6 equals 2. We've written our equation for that. Now we're going to move on to one more thing here for talk math. Tells us we have 10 counters. 3 are yellow. And they want you to be able to explain, how do you use the part whole mat to figure out how many are red? I want you to pause your video for a minute, talk as a class or talk at home, and figure out how you can start with 10 counters, know that 3 of them are yellow, and then figure out how many reds you have. Okay, boys and girls, if you did your math correctly and you were able to explain it, you'd tell me that you put 10 counters in the whole box. And if you took 3 of those away and turned them yellow, X them out, I'm hoping that you found out you had 7 left for red. All right, remember, counters or not, we can draw a picture to solve all of these. Okay, independent practice page. So the students at home are now going to go into their My Math workbook, and you're going to work on pages 115 to 118. The students in class are going to be looking at this worksheet. Now, what's tricky about this? Did anybody notice that they flipped the part, whole boxes upside down? They wanted us to start with the whole number first, so they actually turned our box upside down and made it a little easier. And they're telling us in this first problem that we have 12 tokens. We're going to take 8 of them and turn them red. And we need to figure out how many yellows we're going to have for an answer. How many are left? So you guys in class are going to be working on this worksheet. You'll have your red and yellow tokens to help you out, and your part, whole mat. All right. Those of you at home, use something for your tokens if you can. Coins help, okay? Dimes and pennies work. Anything you've got around the house where you can have 2 different things will work for you. All right. If not, get out that pencil and paper, and a red and yellow crayon do a great job, okay? And you'll figure out all your math and get everything done. Good luck. And it's been a good time teaching you this. And I'm waiting to see your work that you turn in. Have a good night.